Let me ask you something. What if the biggest thing holding you back from achieving your dreams isn't your boss or your bank account or your circumstances? What if it's actually inside your own head? It's a pretty powerful idea, right? That real, lasting success isn't something you go out and find. It's something you build from the inside out. So today, we're going to roll up our sleeves and look at the actual blueprint for how to do that.
This quote comes from a Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius, from almost 2,000 years ago. But honestly, it could have been written yesterday. Think about what he's saying here. It's not about what happens to you. It's about the story you tell yourself about what happens to you. The quality of your thoughts literally shapes the quality of your life. That is our foundation for everything we're talking about.
So if we run with that idea, then success stops being this frantic treasure hunt. Instead, it becomes more like an architectural project. You are the architect of your own life. And the building blocks? They're your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindset. So if that's the case, we need some strong foundations, some solid pillars to build on. Let's dig into the very first one.
Okay, pillar number 1, just show up. I know, it sounds almost ridiculously simple, but trust me, everything, and I mean absolutely everything, starts with this one simple act.
This idea completely changes the game. We have this image of success as, this one big heroic moment, this massive burst of inspiration and work. But that's not how it works. The real engine of growth is, it's a lot quieter. It's the discipline of taking one more small step, and then another one the next day. It's showing up, especially on those days when you really don't feel like it. That's the difference between having a dream and actually building one.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Because the first part of showing up doesn't even happen with your body. It happens right between your ears. Henry Ford nailed it with this quote. Your belief system isn't just a small part of the equation, it is the equation. It sets the ceiling for what's possible. Before you can ever do the thing, you have to genuinely believe you are capable of doing the thing. That belief, that's the fuel in the tank.
All right, so you're showing up, you're being consistent, but then, boom, you hit a wall, you stumble, you fail. What now? Well, that brings us to our second pillar, and honestly, this is a tough one for a lot of us. It's time to embrace failure. And this isn't just about tolerating it, it's about completely changing your relationship with it. From the time we're kids, we're basically taught to be terrified of failure. We see it as this big red stop sign. But what if it's not a stop sign? What if it's just a signpost pointing you in a new direction? A success mindset doesn't see failure as the end. It sees it as raw material. Every single mistake, every setback, that isn't proof that you're weak. That's the very stuff that forges your strength. It's what makes you who you are. I mean, just look at Thomas Edison. The guy supposedly failed 1,000 times trying to invent a commercially viable light bulb. 1,000. But when someone asked him about it, he said something amazing. He said he hadn't failed at all. He just found 1,000 ways that wouldn't work. Can you imagine that kind of perspective? Every failure was just new data. Every problem was a puzzle. With that mindset, every challenge just becomes your personal training ground. And this quote from Nelson Mandela, wow, it just takes this idea to a whole other level. Real strength, real character, it isn't measured when everything is going great. It's measured in those moments when you've been knocked flat on your back. The real victory isn't avoiding the fall. The victory is the act of getting back up again and again. Which leads us perfectly into our third and final pillar. So you're showing up, you're learning to reframe failure. The last piece of the puzzle is this: keep moving. The key is to just maintain that forward momentum no matter how tiny the step feels. Now, the secret to keeping moving
really comes down to which voice you listen to in your head. There's the fixed mindset voice. That's the one that says, look, I'm either good at this stuff or I'm not. That voice hates challenges because it might lead to failure. But then there's the growth mindset voice. That's the one that says, hey, I might not be great at this yet, but I can get better with effort. That voice loves a good challenge. It sees criticism not as an attack, but as a roadmap. One of these paths leads to staying stuck. The other leads to growth.
So just take a second here. Be honest with yourself. Which one of those voices sounds a little more familiar? Which one is your default setting when things get tough? Seriously, just noticing it, just being aware of it, is the single most powerful first step you can take. Because once you see it, you can start to choose which one you listen to.
Okay, so understanding these three pillars, show up, embrace failure, and keep moving, that's one thing. But theory's easy, right? The real question is, how do we actually put this into practice in our messy, busy, everyday lives? Let's break down a simple, practical framework you can start using today.
Look, this isn't about some massive, overwhelming life change. It's about tiny, daily adjustments. Like, step 1, start your day with something positive instead of scrolling through doom and gloom. Step 2, remind yourself what you're working toward. Step 3, be intentional about who you spend time with. Hang out with people who lift you up, not drag you down. Step 4, when you mess up, don't beat yourself up. Just ask, okay, what's the lesson here? And finally, step 5, ground yourself in gratitude. It sounds small, but these are the little hinges that swing huge doors over time.
And really, when you boil it all down, this whole thing is captured perfectly by Winston Churchill. Success is never a permanent destination you arrive at, and failure is never a life sentence. The whole game, the entire journey, is defined by one thing: having the simple, powerful courage to just keep going.
So I want to leave you with one final question. And I don't want you thinking about next year or even next week. Let's just talk about today, right now. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is one single small step you can take today to start building this mindset? That's it, just one thing. Because the choice, and all the power that comes with it, is completely yours. Now, we've only scratched the surface here, but this entire topic has been covered much more extensively and in full detail.